goodness. Welcome to the first episode of In the Paint with Christy Winter-Scott right here on the Her Hoop Stats podcast network. And today we have a very special guest, not only for you guys, but certainly for me, Karl Smesko. Oh my God, you were the head coach at Florida Gulf Coast University for 23 years, which doesn't even make sense to me because we served as assistant coaches together at the University of Maryland eons ago. But your career has been amazing, but you were newly named the new head coach of the WNBA's Atlanta Dream last week. So first of all, welcome to In the Paint.
Christy, it's always good to talk to you. It's good to see you. I'm super excited about being named the coach of the Dream, and I'm really eager to get started.
Oh, wow. I mean, there are so many questions that I have, but I have to start at square one. With the season already beginning collegiately, how tough was that decision for you to make that jump to the WNBA?
It was honestly brutal. It was very, very hard because obviously I love the players that we have at FGCU, and we're such a tight-knit group. It was one of those things where continuing to coach throughout the rest of the season was not an option. So I had to make a choice whether to make this move, which is kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And I mean, you, of all people, know how much I love the W and have loved the W for a long time. I can remember us, even this year in a preseason WNBA game, we were chatting it up about different players on different teams and who's going to be good this year. So this was just a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. And secondly, I had an associate head coach in Chelsea Lyles, who'd been with me for almost 15 years, who is exceptional, was ready to take over. I know she'll do great with the team. I know the team loves her. So I think it'll be a really good situation.
Yeah, what was that like for you to not only hand over the keys to her, but to go in the locker room and tell the players? And I mean, you know me, I know how tough that would be, but what was that interaction like with the student athletes?
Well, it's tough. We brought them in the morning into the film room, and we had everybody there, including administration, so they knew something was up. And I honestly couldn't stay in the room that long because I was going to have waterworks myself. So I let them know everything they needed to know. I told them I loved them. And then I got with them later when emotions calmed down and kind of said my goodbyes to everybody. And, I'm still right now in Fort Myers going back and forth through Atlanta, looking forward to moving to Atlanta full time. But, hopefully there'll be like another chance to really, you know, have a celebration with the players and say goodbye and to all the assistant coaches.
Yeah, hey, like you said, a once in a lifetime opportunity, right? And with the analytics, Karl, of professional basketball and basketball in general, the 3-point line. And if no one knows what you brought to Florida Gulf Coast University in terms of the 3-point shooting prowess, 5 of the last 7 years, your team led the country in 3-point field goals made. What was that philosophy like, and how long did that take you to not go in the paint? Because that's where I used to be back in the day, in the paint. But now, I mean, you can go through the paint, but it's always to kick it out to get those triples and those arrows. I remember I covered you guys in the NCAA tournament, and we were talking about the arrows flying, and that was one of your hashtags.
Yeah, we talk about arrows, shooting the ball straight, giving every ball a chance to go in. And we definitely utilize the 3-point shot as much, if not more than anybody else. But it's really to open things up. We want to create as much space as possible so we can attack space. I think one thing that's overlooked is how good we are from 2-point range. We're always one of the highest percentage shooting teams from 2-point range because of the space that being able to spread the floor and have shooters all over the floor create. So we're not ignoring those, scores in the paint. We're just going about it a slightly different way. But you're right. We want to attack the paint. If you're going to bring two to the ball, we're going to kick it out to people that are down and ready to shoot, and that's where you get the arrows.
Yeah, we love a good arrow. I will
Yeah.
say, it's so much fun to watch, especially you get a lot in transition. So when you are talking about the philosophy of that and the spacing that's provided with the paint threes and the spray out opportunities, headed to the WNBA right now with the Atlanta Dream. And I know you have to have your personnel match the philosophy. What do you see right now with the meshing of that philosophy to what the Atlanta Dream has roster wise?
Well, I think it's going to work really well. I think the players are excited about it. The ones I've talked to, they're eager to get started with this. So we'll see when we all start putting it together. But we have some really talented players on the Dream already, and their ability to attack space, and if we're able to create more space on the offensive end, we're also a really fast team. So if we can get the ball out in transition more, I think it'll be a fun way for the players to play. It will be a transition period, learning it and understanding how we're going to create the shots that we want. But I really like the team that we have there right now, and I think we add a little more shooting and things like that. I think we can be dangerous.
Yeah, no, I love that. And what was that process like? Just being hired by the Atlanta Dream and that call came through. What was that emotion like for you in that moment?
Oh, it was a lot. I mean, it was very stressful because, as you know, our season was starting, and there's a lot of emotions around when you're going to make a jump like this. Uh, but it was kind of a process where I got to talk to Dan as the GM. We shared the same vision. I'm like, wow, this is great. And then I got to talk to the owner, and then at the end of the meeting, he was like, I don't think this could have gone any better. And I felt exactly the same way. So it was like everything was just aligning
Yeah.
perfectly. And the thought of living in Atlanta and being part of that vibrant community is really exciting. So I'm really looking forward to it. When the offer and it finally got finalized, it was like, wow, this is really a dream come true. And uh, I'm looking forward to getting started with this and seeing what we can get accomplished.
Dream come true. Was that a play on words or just
I guess it fits, doesn't it? It fits well. Good point.
there you go. But yeah, I mean, prophetic. But when you are looking at the WNBA landscape and just, everyone watches women's sports, it's like my uniform for this podcast. So I think with the explosion of the acceptance of women in sports, not just basketball, but just all around, I mean, it has been palpable. And for me, I just get so overjoyed by the opportunity of today's athletes to be able to experience this level of acceptance and respect. What is your take on where the game is right now, especially in the WNBA and all those little eyes upon these pros?
Yeah, I think you and I have similar views because we've been fans of the W and women's sports back in the day. And, to see the growth and to see just even within our own team, like as a college head coach, uh, we have been using WNBA clips to teach and playoff
Okay.
clips to teach how we want to run our system and stuff like that. And now we put the film on, and almost all the players had watched the game, which really wasn't the case 10, 12 years ago. So to see how much it's grown and how much the players now mean to the younger generation, and I can only imagine that next step for little kids watching the WNBA now and having their dreams fulfilled someday. Uh, it's a great time for women's sports. It's an exceptional time for the WNBA, and it's a great time that I get to be a part of it.
No doubt, no doubt. And what are you anticipating being your biggest adjustment to the WNBA style of play, I know there are charters now, so the travel is a little bit more palatable, if you will. But what would you say would be your anticipated biggest adjustment that you need to make?
Well, I notice. I mean, I go to W games throughout the year, and I just notice the speed of the game. It's really fast, and as a coach, you want to make good decisions and be able to give good information to the players in a timely manner. And I can see that college pace of things to the W pace of things, that I've got to be able to recognize things quicker. I'm going to have to communicate things quicker and more concisely. So things like that. I'm not the traditional college coach in the sense of I'm not a yeller. I don't really get all uh, intense on the sidelines and things like that. So I think, we already treat our players in college like they were pros and with the respect they deserve. So I think that will be a little smoother. But I want to be the best coach that I can for the dream and for these players. So I want to make sure that uh, I'm getting used to the speed. I'm forcing myself to get used to the speed of the game so that I can do what they would expect of a coach in a timely manner.
Yeah, I mean, you're Phil Jackson 2.0. Do you have the whistle too, or?
I I have a hand whistle that I use, and I just press a little button whenever we want to stop it.
Oh, that's good. That's
Yeah,
so no Phil Jackson whistle, but Phil Jackson demeanor, and that's what Dream fans can anticipate from you. But what kind of message do you have right now for the Dream fans who are anticipating your arrival there?
well, one, I'm looking forward to being part of the community. Uh, I think we're going to have a very exciting team and an exciting product for you to follow, and I hope you witness the growth firsthand. Be there from the opening tap, and make no mistake, we're going to work at it, make adjustments, work at it some more, but the plan is to bring Atlanta a championship, and I wouldn't be going there if I didn't think that was possible. So now the work has to be done. There's going to be a lot of things that have to happen between now and then, but we are going to work at it, and I really think that we'll be successful.
I love that. I love that. And do you see the blueprint of you taking this jump to the WNBA and also the Utah head coach now going to LA? Do you see more of this coming down the pike? Because you said it, like you treated your collegiate level players as pros, and with the NIL, there is some kind of pro feel to that, pay for play kind of feel to that. But when you just took the jump, you saw Utah took the jump. Like, do you see more college coaches possibly streamlining themselves to the WNBA?
I do. I think this trend isn't over, but I'd be interested in seeing what you think. You think this is just two people making the move, or can you see more of this going on? I think I'm in the camp that I could see more of it happening.
Well, I'm a happy camper right there with you. I think that I think that that's going to be a trend, and not just on the women's side. I think also on the men's side. I mean, you saw Tony Bennett step away. He didn't jump right back into coaching, but I don't know. Tara Vanderveer, if she got out of it, she didn't jump right back into coaching yet. But I would love to see her back in the game. But I do think that that's going to be something that moves the needle, and I think, eh, and it's not begrudging the opportunities that the NIL has created for the student athletes, but at the same time, I think when you are looking at how the game has grown in that way, and the student athletes who are making life changes because of the NIL, like how can you begrudge that? But for me, yes, I agree.
Okay.
Try to make it short. For me, it's tough to be concise because I have so many reasons why I think the way I do. But I just think it would be, something that is going to continue because there are new teams coming. Cleveland is the latest team to be kind of sniffing at an opportunity to get a WNBA team there. And they said, rock on. But you remember the Rockers that were there and
Yes,
all play on
I
word.
do.
You know, my wheels are turning with all that. So I just think that there's a strong possibility of that. And I don't think it's a bad thing. I mean, it continues to grow the game. Like you said, eyes on, the game has grown exponentially. So you want to continue that. But speaking of growing the game exponentially and these milestone moments for everyone, Gino Auriemma, what's your take on Gino becoming the all-time men's women's wins leader right now?
Well, he's obviously just an amazing coach and maybe the most successful coach to ever do it. And the impact that he's had on his players, I think, uh, can't be measured. And to see all the players come back and support him for that big moment, I mean, it was really touching. I'm sure it was touching for him. And uh, you know, he always hints about retirement, but I mean, he's got it going and could keep it going for a really long time. So who knows what that number could end up being at the end? I mean, it's almost unfathomable.
Yeah, and you're right up there in those win numbers. 723,
I,
729.
no, I don't. I'm under 700. I don't know what it is
Oh,
exactly, but think about that. I've been coaching. I've been coaching since head coach since 26. I was assistant with you at Maryland, but everything else has been head coach, and uh, I'd have to have twice as many wins to catch Gino. That's how remarkable
yeah,
he has been over his career.
yeah,
So,
yeah. I know that's amazing. I mean, and an 83% winning percentage for you over those years. I mean, that is tremendous. What does that take to be that consistently excellent with a group of people that you are trying to mold and grow? And not only that, but execute and win.
well, it takes a lot of people that are having similar shared goals.
Yeah.
So, I've been really fortunate that great assistant coaches, we've been able to bring in great players who are great leaders who help bring in the next set of great players and leaders. Um, so there's a strive for excellence, uh, but it's about being surrounded by the right people. That was one thing that when we worked together, it was like I got a sense right then how important having great people around,
Oh,
how what a big difference that makes to a program, and it was never lost on me. So I always wanted to make sure that we were we were surrounded by great people wherever we were at.
oh my God, that's so sweet. See, you're gonna make me lose a lash over here of crying. But no, we had some great times in the office, man. But you were a basketball savant then in the office with the players and coaches, and you're a basketball savant now. And for me, I'm just so incredibly proud of you, my friend. Like I am so excited, and I cannot wait for you to come here to DC when you guys play the Mystics. And with that being said, you were just talking about having great people around you. Have you established your staff yet? And I mean, you don't have to say names if it's not finalized, but what kind of process do you go through to vet the right people to have around you?
Well, I think it's really important. I think this first hire for an assistant coach is going to be critical. Uh, I think it's important that we, hire somebody with some WNBA playing experience, WNBA coaching experience.
Yes.
Want to have a lot of diversity through our staff. So,
Get it.
we're talking to a lot of people that are uh, excellent coaches. Now it's just about finding the right fit, and this is a priority, but we are going to take our time to the point that we know we're getting the right people on board.
Oh, I love that. And I don't want to hold you because I know you're busy. I know it's like there are a lot of things going on for you as you're trying to organize and hire a staff and all of the things. But is there anything that I didn't ask you that you wanted to share today before we get off of here?
No, I just want to let you know that I appreciate our friendship over so many years, and I am really proud of you. As you know, when I would see you on TV and you would have how great you've become as a commentator and these podcasts and everything that you've accomplished. And you even mixed in some coaching over the years. You couldn't get away from it. So, but I'm glad that our shared love of basketball has brought us together all these years, and I look forward to seeing and talking to you again shortly.
Oh boy. I don't know if I can close it out, B-Mac. B-Mac's our great producer. Brian, I don't know if I can close it out without sounding a little weepy. But oh, you already know what it is, Carl, and it's for life. And I respect you. I appreciate you taking time out of your busy, busy schedule to join us today for In the Paint with Christy Winter Scott right here on the Her Hoop Stats Podcast Network. I cannot wait to see you soon.
Oh, likewise. Thank you.
Thank you.